Welcome back, everyone. My name is Reed Blakemore, Director of Research and Programs at the Atlantic Council's Global Energy Center. I'm here at the GE Vernova Experience Center in Dubai. You'll notice we're not at the COP site today, interviewing Mavi Zingoni, CEO of GE Power. Mavi, thanks for joining me today. I think we are at a moment in this COP, right, where we've gathered around an action agenda. We have stakeholders from civil society, private sector, policy, of course, NGOs. It feels like the COP community gets bigger and bigger and bigger every year. You know, why is GE here, right? And what do you see as the big pieces of this COP that you want to participate in?
Yeah, Rick, thank you very much. Thank you for being with us in here today at GE offices. Let me start with congratulating the UAE for the amazing job that they are doing, not only these weeks, but what it means to organize a COP and the right stakeholders together. As you are saying, the COP is becoming broader and broader when it comes to the different stakeholders. What is great, because I think it's an explanation in action of that we need to work on climate change, all of us together. I mean, it's not just one stakeholder, one part of the society, the private sector, or only the public sector. I think that we need to do it all together. So I think it's great. When you think about why GE Vernova is here, I think our mission is electrify and decarbonize the world. So we're working with all the technologies. We have a broad portfolio of technologies just to deliver on that mission. You can see today in the Experience Center all the technologies that we can play around. So I'd say that our purpose here, our engagement during these couple of weeks with different stakeholders at the public, with the public sector, with the private sector, just making sure that we are enabling the discussions, that we are just building the technology. We have it, but we keep on moving to the next stage, the technology that the world needs on its mission of electrifying and decarbonizing the world. I think when we think about it, what's the today, what's the COP, you're saying, okay, what are we achieving here? I think that in the world today, we know we'll need more power, not less. 50% more power in the next 2 decades. So we need to deliver that, not to mention the more than 700 million people without access to power today. So there's a lot to be done. And when I think about the COP and when I think about the United in Actions, those are probably the two words that are rising these 2 weeks. I think that the fact that this COP was able to attract the right leaders, different stakeholders, I think it means that we are really starting to be together, to be united in what we need to do, and then this claim for action. And that's what this COP so far is doing. Okay, are we going to make it 3 times renewable, 3 times the nuclear that we need? I think that the claim for action is the other thing that now we need to move to the execution phase.
Exactly. I think you bring up a really important point that the inclusivity agenda that's present here at this COP is not just heartening to see because you can deal effectively with these issues around energy access by bringing more, not just members of industry and the private sector, but also representative geographies, right? Yeah. This is no longer just a global north conversation. It's one where the global south has a huge voice and needs to be heard. And I think it's really good to see that, you know, not only is that inclusivity agenda being successful at this COP, but it's being executed in a way, to your point, where we're talking about needing all of the technologies, right? If we're going to 3x renewables, if we're going to, you know, pursue oil and gas decarb, we're going to need a lot of stuff. You mentioned a few of the big pieces on the COP agenda, right, that we're going to be looking at and observing over these few weeks. Anything in particular really stick out in your mind as an area that you see as, you know, that's the part of the COP agenda that is going to be most impactful, or really, you know, going to be a space where, you know, a company like GE sees an opportunity to contribute to the conversation in particular?
Yeah, indeed. Think about that the power sector contributes to 40% of the carbon emissions today. So decarbonizing the carbon sector is a must. And of that 40%, 3/4 of that are coal generation. So there is something to be done in the short term as well. And say this energy transition is exactly that. It's a transition. It's a journey that we have to make. And in that journey, all technologies are going to be needed. And the mix of technology is going to be evolving. For sure, the renewables will have a larger place in the generation composition. But as long as we have more renewables, we'd also need dispatchable, reliable power. And for sure, it means that we need a grid that is stronger than the one that we have today, and it's a grid that allows us to have these intermittencies that we'll have with the renewables. So that's probably at the top of the agenda. Second one, when you see the COP and the agenda of the COP in general, I think that nuclear is taking probably a very important momentum. I mean, probably there were not so many, if any, nuclear panels in the previous COPs. And I'd say that that's probably an explanation that the world is accepting that we will not make it net zero by 2050 without nuclear. And this pledge saying, okay, we need 3 times the nuclear installed capacity that we have today, and the role that it's having not only in the COP, but also as we speak with the different stakeholders. I think that's something that probably is highlighting here, because we haven't talked about nuclear in previous ones. So, and this means that we'll need large reactors, we'll need small modular reactors. So, and we are working on it. We signed an agreement in GE Vernova with an EC just to deliver, to deploy that in the UAE. I think it's on top of the agreement that we already have with customers, with 3 customers in Canada, OPG in the US with TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, and also in Poland with Syntos and Orlen, that yesterday they received the decision in principle to build 24 small modular reactors with GE technology. So it means that the nuclear is getting momentum, but at the same time, it is true that the nuclear needs to earn that right to be part of the energy generation. So we have the challenge to deliver those projects on time, to lower the cost. Always when we think about the energy transition, it takes us back to the energy trilemma. So you have the nuclear, the nuclear energy that for sure it's carbon-free, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So it solves the sustainable energy. It solves the security of supply or reliable energy. We have to make it affordable. So driving down the cost of the small modular reactors is really one of the things where we are working the most. And for sure, the volume will help in here. So probably that's the technology that it says getting momentum. The other technology that are also getting momentum are the carbon capture and also the negative technology. You say, what do I call a negative technology? Because it sounds, the clock is ticking, and there is only one technology that is being able to turn down the clock, to turn back the clock, say, how can we remove the carbon that we have been emitting, all of us together, since Industrial Revolution? And that's the direct air capture. So that's another technology that is getting momentum, probably a bit longer term. And finally, I'd say that because the renewables are in there, for sure, there is no doubt in there, but with that penetration, how to make sure that we have the grid in the way that we need to have them.
I think you're totally right, and especially your point on nuclear is really fascinating. I think so many people came to Dubai thinking, what is the oil and gas decarbonization going to look like at this COP? But we're completely surprised. For a brief moment, this became the nuclear COP. Given all those surprises, but I think you're absolutely. It's good to see just the suite of technologies, right? That we're trying to build an ecosystem here where nothing can really be taken off the table so long as it contributes to that net zero future. Whether that's producing that energy cleanly and affordably, or taking that carbon right out of the air, like these direct air capture solutions. You mentioned when we just started that this is now all about action and implementation, right? And execution. We're in Dubai. This has been a great community to see come together these 2 weeks. But obviously, on December 14th, everybody's going to, be back in their home countries, hopefully enjoying a little bit of a holiday break, because I know we're all a little tired. But we have to begin thinking about what we're going to do outside of this COP in order to achieve and succeed in these ambitions that we're setting for ourselves. I would like you to reflect a little bit on that. How do we, be action-oriented? How should we take forward these lessons and learnings and community building into the next year? And what can we do to enable some of the technologies that we've been discussing this afternoon?
That's a great question, and a great question for all of us to reflect. How would it move into action? And I'd say it starts with government giving clear mandates to regulators working together. I think that the harmonization of some ruling is important, that we all drive into the same directions is important. So if governments give clear mandates to regulators have the right ruling in place as soon as possible. There are a lot of programs that are already showing the benefits of it, say the IRA in the US, how it's making, clear ruling there. The incentives to invest, so it makes all of us accelerating that energy transition. Those are the type of things that we need, because the technology is showing up. The technology has always been there. The private sector is more than willing to keep on in this energy transition journey. So working together, getting this momentum from the COP, this energy that we are getting here, say, we can do it. So I'd say that's what we really need to do. And probably move back after break, as you said, and focus on, okay, what did we learn from here? What are the agreements that we signed? What are between the different companies? What are, the agreements that the different countries are supporting? And just let's focus into action. So now is the moment to deliver. When I think about, again, United in Action, we're making the United Party here. We understand it. We need to turn this into action. That's our duty. We know how to do it. We have the capacities to do it. We have the capabilities. We have, for sure, we need to keep on evolving. We have the technologies. We just need to accelerate in this journey. With these things in mind, we need more power, not less. We have to deliver this. We have to deliver that power, and this is a transition. All type of technologies are going to be needed. It's not one or the other. We need all of them. We need all of us to work together in that regard.
It's really, when we say united in action, it means united as far as the community is concerned, but also united in terms of our use of the entire diversity of the technologies available to us to meet those climate goals. We'll be doing a lot more of these interviews over the next 2 weeks here at COP28. So do stay tuned. But until then, Mavi, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for hosting us at the experience.
Thank you.